By the time I got back to this, this is Love Scope once again. And I'm just going to show you my website so you can see that. And that's the book. Right. It's yeah, nice to have you here. How are you? I've been in the Perry 10K group for a while. I've been busy this last week. Just finally got some time to come up for air. Let me do that. Stable. All right. There's a fan by there because it's way hot in LA still. Hi. Thanks for joining me. Good to see you, Katya. I need to get back on Sherathons. I've been out of the loop for since the weekend. Very busy with the pledge drive at KCOW, the radio station, and finally complete that today. We rocked it. We hit our goals. And now a chance to take time to get some of my content back out there. So, yeah, I know. I missed you too. But I love what's happening and where we're going. Big things are coming. Anyway, so if you're just coming in, awesome. Just coming in, thank you for joining me. Please feel free to tap on the screen for hearts. I'd like to welcome the hearts in, get a bunch of those going in. Also, if you have not followed me before, please do so now by swiping right on the iPhone, down on the droid, and tapping on follow. And please share this on Twitter and share it with your followers on Periscope. This is going to be a continuation of a conversation I started a few days ago on my first scope about this topic, and I call it Love is a Battlefield. I'll get to that in a minute. So before I get started, thanks for joining me and coming in and sharing this scope with your friends and tapping the screen for hearts, which I welcome. My name is Barry Selby. I am known as the Heartbreak Repair Specialist. My passion is helping my clients, particularly mostly single successful women, to heal their hearts so they can attract amazing relationships and also to own their feminine gifts, because so many women I'm aware of who are business women have done really well in the business world, but their relationships haven't honored where they are, to say the least. So they've been kind of wary and some have heard about past relationships. So that's what I want to talk about and get to here. So to quickly show you that I have my book, which is 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. This book is on Amazon as a physical book, like so. Also, it's available as Kindle if you happen to like a Kindle device. Well, the physical book's great because it has room for note pages in there too, so you can make notes in the book if you like this sort of thing. And also, it's out available on my own website as an ebook PDF download if you want that too. So I'll get to that more in a moment. So I am a #1 best-selling author, and I am the Heartbreak Repair Specialist, and my passion, my service, my love is helping my clients attract amazing relationships. And I've done 2 scopes on this topic already about love as a battlefield, about what happens when people choose relationships based upon their initial gut feeling, which is their initial loin feelings, be blunt about it, and they don't get what they want because they look at a package without looking at the details and the contents, and they wonder why it doesn't work out the way they want. And I talk about love as a battlefield because it starts out with everyone's lovey-dovey, excited, wonderful, great things are happening, it's so perfect. The first date couldn't go any better, everything's wonderful. And then 6 months later, or 6 years later, after marriage even, there's this drawing lines in the sand saying you cross that line and we're going to have a fight, and then you're going to court for divorce, or you're going through major pain and suffering. From New Zealand, awesome. And Ian is there from France. Katya's in London. I love the variety of people. It's an international audience here. So awesome. I'm in Los Angeles, which is why I've got the fan going above my head because it's so freaking hot still. We have an unseasonably hot fall right now. Bonsoir. So love is a battlefield in the context of how people tend to get in relationships and end up paying the price later on and wondering what went wrong along the way, from loving, tender connection, beautiful hearts, to this incredible heartbreak, pain, suffering, and battle with their ex because it didn't work out they wanted, or they go ahead and do something where they had to draw lines in the sand to get property rights and children custody and all sorts of other things. And I got friends who've been through that, and clients too. So that's why I mean love is a battlefield, because unless you start the right way, you tend to end up the wrong way. So that's why when we get to this topic, this is part 3, which is start the right way. Now, to contextualize this, let me give you a couple of examples of what I've been experiencing with clients and friends recently that started this whole conversation in the first place. Started about a week ago, but it's been going forward ever since. The battlefield conversation came out of a friend of mine I was talking to who's going through now a painful divorce with her ex-husband because after 10 years of perfect marriage, he began abusing her physically. And she was worried for her safety and her son's safety, and she basically left him to take care of herself. And when I talked to her, I started unpacking some of the things she was dealing with, and I really got clarity about her ex's past and her own past that led to this situation. So again, starting the right way can actually end up the right way too, but it's a key thing to know ahead of time what that is. And this is what I specialize in my work, and I'm very passionate about this. So let me give you some piece of the puzzle so you can do it yourself, and also give you ways you can take it further working with me, because I do want to let you know that I offer this service, this support, and my coaching that will change your life. But I don't want to just tell you about that. I want to show you what I mean so you can see if it's valuable for you. So this is something you can take into your own heart, your own life, your own journey. If you're single, particularly now, and also if you're in a relationship, I want to make sure you have some keys to take action steps forward so you can see, in fact, if there's the one you want to take for the rest of your life or for as long as you want, and what you can do to make that happen more easily, because you can't control everything, but also where you're not going to be feeling like, oh crap, I need to run away. So what I mean by starting the right way is, first, you need to look in the mirror. And literally, I mean, look at your own life, your own history, your own experience up to this point. For many of my friends, clients, and I did it as well for a couple of times, relationship was a looking away from what didn't work, like a rebound in a way, like pushing away and then bumping into somebody over there and going, oh, they're cute, let me do that. Not really the ideal solution, and for many people, it's not going to work. That's one of the things. If you don't choose to look in the mirror, if you don't choose to look at your own journey, your own upbringing, your own path, you'll be oblivious to what can happen and what can go wrong. So, lesson one, or key number one, is you must, it's too heavy a word maybe, for your best chance for a healthy relationship, what I recommend you do, that's another way of putting it, is to take stock. And meaning that you look at your own journey, your family relationships growing up, because I did mention that in the previous scope about your parental model that you learned about relationship from, to see what your values are, but also what your behavioral responses are like. Because I can tell you the best template that you have for what you're going to choose in a relationship is based on what you learned as a kid, as from your parents. I'm not going to go into the whys of that. That's in a previous scope. You can look at that if you want to go back on my catch. I'll show you now. Right, catch.me. This, by the way, is my archive of all my scopes, and I have about 70 or more love scopes out there about this conversation in a much broader spectrum. But in particular, the last two I did before this, part 1 and part 2, about love as a battlefield, talk to the history. Well, Honey Badger, nice to have you here. Again, if you joined my scope since I started, please make sure you swipe right on the iPhone, swipe right on the iPhone, swipe down on the Droid, and tap follow if you haven't followed me before. And please share this on Twitter and also with your followers in Periscope, so they can join and get the value from this. Oh, you're welcome. Glad you're here. Thank you for doing that too. Appreciate that. So again, having the template of your history is very helpful. For some people it's scary, but it's so helpful, so it's worth doing this. So here's an assignment for you, should you choose and you're single and you want to attract amazing relationships. Is you start by having a look at the template of the model of relationship you learned when you were younger. And that will give you such a great insight into your own choices, your own patterns, and your own love life. Love is an interesting paradigm, because we think love will cure all, which it can with the right context. But we tend to look through the lens, to what you want to say, the filter, the appearance, thank you again for sharing that as well on Twitter, of how we saw life growing up. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've covered this again in previous periscopes about this topic, but I'm passionate about you knowing that you have an opportunity to change your path because you can change the way you store your history. Light bulb go off, I hope. This is vital, because what you've been told or trained or shown as a kid about love and relationships is not the law of the land. It's a pattern or a default pattern you've learned because it was the best thing you knew at the time, naturally, automatically, and easily, which is great. If you were raised in a family dynamic that was healthy, growing, loving, compassionate, honest, all those things, you'll model that in your next relationship, which is great. And for some people that's true, but for the majority of people I've met, it wasn't. And I had a very healthy upbringing in my family growing up, and it still gave me some lessons in my relationship dating life, which I covered in a previous scope as well. For you, I recommend you do this through clear eyes. You can journal about this, write about it, talk about it, look in the mirror and just have a dialogue with yourself, because what I'm passionate about is you choosing wisely, that you get what you really want in love, life, success, passion, all of that. That's why I do this work. That's why I'm joyful about this work and I'm passionate about it, which you can find all over my website and all over my book and everything else. So first thing is review, seeing what it was that you were raised with, because you want to see if you agree with it or not. Because when you're an adult, you have a conscious mind that has the ability to look logically at your history. So if this is a 5 or 6 year old, you saw your parents arguing all the time, or one abusing the other, or one being a workaholic, or one being a drunk, you may not want that to be the way you have your relationships, but it's automatically instilled in you until you choose differently. But as an adult, when you look at that and go, I don't want that, then you can take conscious action to change it. But until you do, it's running like an autopilot inside of you. And it's going to give you choices that you didn't want. You will start attracting relationship partners that will mimic what you had as a kid, for better or for worse. So your first step is to have a review, to look at that and see what's there. Will change your life. Now, this also applies to every area of life: money, health, physical exercise, spiritual, religious path. All those things are keyed into this because they're all imprinted when you're a kid. So your pathway, your spiritual pathway, all of that stuff is instigated from your own upbringing, early childhood, and then it plays out in your adult life. This will be valuable to remember this in every area of your life going forward. Second thing is that, second key, not thing, key, is that then when you have that clarity about what you had before and you can choose differently, you have clarity about what you want. So many people I know, and it's almost laughable if it wasn't so painful to watch, find a mate or a partner or a date using some smartphone app or a website or a matchmaker. Actually, matchmakers use pretty good, but some service where it's basically just numbers lining up and hopefully it works out. And it won't most of the time. So it helps if you have a list or a picture or a feeling of what you want to create. Now, I created an 8-week program about this, so I'll tell you that in a moment, but I'll make sure that you know there's many different ways. That's why my program is 8 weeks long, because there's so much content in there that hit you on just different levels of your clarity and vision of what you want to attract in a relationship. Because this is the key to number 2, is you need to know what you really want. What are your deal breakers, and what are your must-haves? If you start with a list of 5 or 10 of those on each list, you're going to be so far ahead of where you were, because it gives you a sense of what you're looking for. And with clarity, you have direction. With direction, you have results possible, because if you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you get there. Simple stuff, I know, but it's so true. So to have that clarity is vital. So that's number 2. And number 3, and I'll go back and recap these if you missed them, just so you know if you just joined me. Number 3, which is just as important, but people forget so often, is who are you inside? How much do you love, appreciate, and care for yourself when you're single, when you're alone, and when you're in a relationship? Do you give everything over to your partner or not? Do you take care of yourself first before you take care of your partner? For many of my clients, the answer is no to both of those. Actually, yeah. Make sure I'm answering the right question the right way. It's so vital that you know who you are, how much you love, and so you put the love on yourself. Self-care, self-support, taking care of yourself first is one of the best ways to be in a relationship, as bizarre as that sounds. Fundamental, easy to do, but so easy to forget. So those are my 3 keys, and I'm going to recap them now. And if you did join me late, by the way, you can watch the whole replay. It'll be online. It'll be on Catch as well, which is where all my love scopes are stored. This is the site again, catch.me/barryselby. You got it? All right? But recap quickly, so you have these, is 1, you need to really look in the mirror and look at your history, your past, your upbringing, your template you learned as a kid, as a kid from the parents around you or the adults around you that taught you about relationships by what they did. Not so much what they said, but what they did. By doing that, it gives you a baseline to build from, which you can have amazing choices. Which means the second part is to be clear about what your choices are going to be by knowing what you want. Vital key. Third, again, is how you take care of yourself. Now, that's very broad strokes, but I want to give you a couple of keys beyond this. First of all, you can do all of these yourself. What I told you is enough to change your life if you take this to home, take it to heart, and you do it yourself. And, because this is my passion, my work, as I mentioned before, it is in my book. If you didn't see this before, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. This book has 50 principles, including what I've just talked about, and a bunch more that you can get on Amazon. It's a physical book on Amazon. You look for 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. That's me as the author. You can find me there. Or Kindle if you want it that way. On my website, which is barryselby.com, which I will just tap your screen here and show you. See that there? That's my website right there. It's a video series which repeats what I just said basically in a different way. And you get that series for free. In the top left-hand corner, I zoom in there, there's a Let's Talk button. Actually, Let's Chat. That is a place, if it stays focused long enough, is where you can find my discovery session for free, which I talked to you about. moving right along here to the other one is, where is it? Can't find it on here. Coaching. I have a 3-month coaching program if you want to work one-on-one with me. And next to that, the Dating Advantage, right there. That, by the way, this is my site, barryselby.com, so you can find it right easily. Dating Advantage covers the vision. If you already know what you want, great. And if you want some clarity and support to not only know what you want, but to embody it, feel it, and own it, my program, The Dating Advantage, which is on my website, is an 8-week home study program that runs through the journey for you, supports you every step of the way to create the vision, but not just a picture, much more than that. So if that is something you're looking for, please check that out. If you're looking to have some help in the context of everything about relationship, grab a discovery session. It's my gift to you. It's a 30-minute conversation by Skype or phone, or if you're local in Los Angeles, by in person if we do that too. To give you the clarity of what you really want, and to help you get some clarity on what your choices are, because you deserve the best. I'm passionate about that for you, and I hope you get that too. The shortcut, by the way, to that, in terms of finding my link, is in my profile, my bio in Periscope. You'll see in my Periscope, bring up my profile, you'll see my name, my picture, everything else. In my biography right there, there's 2 links. The first link, in fact, is my discovery session, my gift to you, which is barryselby.com/consult. Secondly, I do have a love donation button, because some people just say they get so much value from my scopes, they want to share it, and that is awesome, and I love that too. So that's in a nutshell what I talk about, which seems anything else I want to post, because I've got all these notes to myself. I think that's it. If there's any questions, by the way, thoughts you have whilst you're still here, I'll answer before I sign up. I just want to get this out into your brains and into your heart, so you can hopefully have some shifts in your own choices. Any other questions, thoughts, or insights you had during this scope if you're still here? And if you're not, that's okay too. I appreciate you being here. If you have lasted through the whole thing, I commend you, because for a lot of people, they bail early because, frankly, this scares them. And this work is not for the faint of heart. This is deep work I do with my clients, and I've done this myself. But it changes your life for the better. If you just want to get dates and have fun, great. But if you want a really committed relationship that rocks, that's amazing, that's transformational, you've got to do the work. So with that said, I believe that there's no more comments or questions right now, so I want to say thank you for watching. I'm glad you have stay along for the Periscope. If you're watching the replay, thank you for that. And also please keep tapping the screen for hearts. I welcome that as well. Stay tuned. I do a love scope every day, and I share about this. So I hope you got value from this. And I'll be back again tomorrow with a love scope. I do this every day, although I missed a couple of days because of the pledge drive this week. I also do my period tips every day too. So we get to that one probably later on, probably tomorrow right now, because I've got a lot going on today. But thank you for watching. Thanks for following along. And thanks for sharing this with your friends. And if you know anybody who's looking for help in the area of relationship and romance, particularly who's single and is having challenges in their history, their dating life has been somewhat less than ideal, please send it to my website. And definitely get them my book. 50 Ways to Love Your Lover is, I believe, one of the best books out there to give you the nuts and bolts of how to have a healthy relationship. If you're single or couple, a man or woman, this book will help you. And it's on Amazon.com, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover by Barry Selby. All right? So thanks for watching my scope. Thanks for following me. Again, the link to the discovery session is on my profile. Gail, nice to have you here. I'm just finishing up the scope, unfortunately. See if you can watch the replay. Sorry, kid. I've got to get going to my next appointment. But thanks for joining me. Please watch the replay. It covers 3 vital points. And I really am passionate about this, that you get this message. That's why I talk about it a lot in my scopes, because I want you to have a look at my scope, and I hope you get value. Please actually message me over Facebook or over Twitter what you thought of it, because I'd love to get your feedback. So I know you're definitely invested in your transformation, your journey as well. This is vital stuff, but it's not stuff for the faint of heart or for the weak-willed. This is big journey we play. All right. So thank you for watching. Thanks, Gail, for coming in. Thanks for the hearts. Please watch the replay, and you can also tap the screen for the replay as well, which will happily add to my heart count, which I welcome. And share it with anybody you think will be in need of this support. But make sure that they want to look at it. Don't just throw it at them and say, you should watch this. It doesn't always land very well, you know? Okay, take care of yourselves. Thank you, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Love Scope. I need to go back into the morning schedule. Probably going to end up being about 11 a.m. Pacific time, most likely. And I may do one later in the day, I'm not sure yet. But just watch me, follow me, you'll be notified when I'm on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting my work. And thanks for taking care of yourselves in the world, because we need to be doing that more and more. All right? Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Watch the replay if you just got here, because this is now complete. Bye.